Last Sunday, we began talking about problem solving. And then we were meant to understand that problem is a necessity, that life is an evolutionary school. That is, challenges and living, they are intertwined. As long as you are alive, you will always have challenges. And then it's a school that keeps evolving. Then the classes you take in this school of life are challenges. So life is an evolutionary school. It keeps evolving. And the classes we take, they are challenges. So you cannot separate challenges from living. As long as you are alive, you will continue to have challenges. Challenges should not limit our possibilities. We should use them to unlock the real meaning of our life. The reason is because the true definition of purpose is revealed through the problems we are meant to solve. For instance, the eye. The purpose of the eye is revealed by the problem it is meant to solve. It is for sight, for seeing. The eye, the purpose is for sight. So, you can see the true definition of yourself through the problems you were meant to solve. So, we should not allow circumstances to dictate our possibilities. What do I mean by that? The things you should achieve in life, they should not be limited by the challenges that you have, but rather you should use them as a stepping stone to achieve what you expect. I must inform us that you cannot experience the future that you don't see. Any future you don't see, you cannot experience it. And your future is already inside of you, waiting for you to discover it. And the circumstances of life that is surrounding us might be your guide to discovering or finding that future. Problem solving, if you ask me to define, is a way by which solutions are developed. How you profile solution. They range from simple problems to complex problems. Simple problems are problems that have just one issue, linear, if it is in mathematics. Single issue. But there are certain problems that have multiple obstacles at the same time. They are referred to as complex problems. And for you to solve problem, it is very difficult when you don't have the right tools. You want to fix an issue, but you don't have the right tools, it becomes very difficult for you to fix that problem. That was why the Bible said that the destruction of the poor is their poverty. That is, their lack is their destruction. When you don't have the necessary tools, the necessary information, the necessary resources with which you solve problems, it becomes very difficult, like the puzzle you have there. Until I give you the key to unraveling that puzzle, you will find it very difficult. But in less than a minute, you can resolve that puzzle. But because you don't have the adequate resources, it becomes very difficult. Like I told you, that with 4 straight lines, you can fix that puzzle. I'll be giving us 4 simple steps with which you can solve almost any problem. Most problems in life can be resolved with these 4 simple steps that I'm going to share with us now. And they are summarized by this word, idea. IDEA. I stands for identify the problem. D, develop potential solutions. E, execute the best solution. A, assess the steps that resolved the problem. By the time we get through this word idea, you will be equipped on how to solve almost any problem. Problem identification, which is the letter I. This is the first step to solving any problem. For you to solve any problem, you must spot the problem. You must agree with the situation that there is a problem. You must identify the problem. That's not all in problem identification. You also now begin to isolate those problems you have identified for further diagnosis, for further examination, so that you can define the problem appropriately, so you can understand the problem appropriately. It is at the point you begin to understand the problem that you can know how to go around it. And the things that will help you to understand the problem as you diagnose is you begin to ask several questions like why? Why? That why we give you several causes to the problem on ground. Why this? Why this? And be open-minded to make a very long list of all the whys. You are trying to do analysis of the problem that you have spotted. As you keep asking those questions, be disciplined enough to write as many as possible causes to the problem. This will guide you to the root of the problem. It will guide you to the root of the problem. The reason is because on the surface, what we often see are symptoms, not really problems. So we keep diagnosing the symptoms in order to get to the root. You know, I mentioned that we have simple problems. Simple problems can just be solved, simply. But when problems are complex, we can adopt some technique that I call fishbone diagram or concept map. This is a picture of fishbone diagram. You know how a fish looks like. Each of the bones and the smaller bones will help you as you keep asking, why this? You keep tabulating them. It will help you till you get to the tail, which is the root of the problem. When it is complex, this is another diagram of the fishbone or the concept map. You can see that global warming. When you check why, you see the symptom, heat, and all the rest of them. You ask, why are we having heat? Because of global warming. Why global warming? You begin to go down until you get to the root, and then you'll be able to know actually all the causes, all the possible causes to that problem. The moment you have found the possible causes to the root of that particular problem, we go to stage 2 or step 2. Step 2 is develop potential solution. Remember, on step 1, we succeeded in finding several whys to a symptom. Why is the body aching? Why is the head hot? Why is the person feeling drowsy? Why? Now you have several whys. Now you begin to derive potential solutions to all the respective why. And that is by how. The response to why is how. And then, what are the possible ways to stop each of the symptoms that you saw Remember, the symptoms are many. You also need to be disciplined to list out every possible solution, potential solution to those symptoms that you were able to generate at step 1. You know, it's quite unfortunate many a times when problem is presented to us, we only see them from one angle. We only want to solve that problem from just an angle. And anything outside that angle that you have known, you won't believe that there is solution. That's why that puzzle is still lying down there. You have not been able to solve it. You have not been able to think outside the box. So, at the point where we are doing developing potential solution, we are expected to think outside the box. So you will do a lot of consultation. You will do a lot of consultation. You ask a lot of questions. You brainstorm. Ask a lot of people that may know more than you. What do they think about the process of solving a particular problem? And you write it down. As much as 30. Just go around. And then, the moment you get all such answers, you begin to prioritize the best solution among all the answers that you got. You will begin to prioritize the best solution. How do you do that? You begin to match answers against answers, comparing them comparatively, matching answers against answers, potential solutions, to know what will be the impact of that answer when it is applied to the problem. What will be the impacts? You check the pros and the cons, the advantages and disadvantages that each solution has against the other. Remember, the period that we had COVID, even the virus is still around. We know that a little disinfectant and hand sanitizer can kill COVID, right? Yes. But when it is inside the system of an individual, you cannot drink the hand sanitizer because of the disadvantage. So, although that is a solution, you now need to match it with the pros and the cons. You also do that with something we call SWOT analysis. Check the strengths, the weakness, the opportunity, and the threats of each of those potential solutions. What is the strength of the answer that you have gotten? What strength does he have over the other one? What is the weakness that he have over the other one? If you go to drink hand sanitizer, you discover that the system will have problem. It will create a bigger problem. So you are doing SWOT analysis so that you want to know, if I apply this measure, what is it going to cause on the overall system? This is what you do, SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, opportunity, and strengths. As you do that, you will be able to come out with the best amongst all the potential solutions that you have. And that will give you a guide to developing something we call SMART goal. SMART goal. SMART goal, simply defined by that picture I displayed there. The goal should be specific. It should be specific. You should be clear of the exact thing that it will achieve. It should be measurable in the sense that you can track the progress. It should be attainable. It should be something that you can achieve. The plan should be relevant to the problem you want to solve. And then you must have a time lag that is expected for you to achieve it. I remember when I wanted to make the first million. I wanted to make a first million. What I did was, I began making projections to save 1,000 a day. I believe that it is achievable. I just have to believe within myself that saving 1,000 a day was achievable. I just have to convince myself, because I don't want to look at the circumstances around me in order to limit my possibility. I believe that it was achievable. So you see, my target was 1 million savings. It must be specific. Then measurable. How do I intend to do that? How do you intend to achieve 1 million? Okay, I did the maths. If you can save 1,000 every day in a week or 5 days, active 5 days, you have 5K. In a month, you'll be having 20K, right? Then in a year, you'll be having 240,000. That means in a year, you'll not be able to make $1 million, right? So I knew that with that rate of savings, you cannot make $1 million savings in a year. But it was specific. It was measurable. At least by the end of the first 12 months, you should be somewhere, but not there. It was specific and measurable. Was it attainable? It was attainable. All I just need to do is to begin to think of more streams of income. A time came, I saw that 1,000 a day will not be able. But because of the principle of saving that I've also learned, that to him that has, more will be given to him. Now I began to gather. Opportunities will keep coming. Opportunities to invest. Sometimes it will be an opportunity of 30K. And by the time you invest that 30K, you'll be making like extra 5K within a week. And then you see 30,000 has given you 5,000 within a week, which means extra 5K added to that. And then the time came that I was able to generate like 5K in a day, which means 5K savings a day. In a week, it's going to give you how much? 25K. In a month, it's going to give you how much? In 10 months, it's going to give you $1 million. And in 12 months, $1 million, how much? And then, what were the reasons that I could not save? You discover that you spend a lot on things you don't like, things you don't need, things you're not going to use. So, you discipline yourself to writing down every expenditure you want to do. You write it so that at the end of the month, you evaluate your expenditures. You will be amazed. There a lot of money you spent on things you don't need. Then you will now have to cut down on them. They should be attainable, relevant, and also time-bound. So, the moment you set time-bound to it, then the goal is as good as achieved. I'll now go to the next point. When we come back next week, we continue from where we stopped. Thank you and God bless you. Till we meet next time.